Provalence, addressing the challenge of healthcare search. The web is like an ever-growing library with billions of books and no central filing system. This according to Google. The limits of Googling it. A very specific search still yields over 4,600 results. Quite frustrating and overwhelming. So where does one start? Who can be trusted? Clinicians often deal with lack of online editorial oversight. Patient-acquired information is inconsistent and varies widely. They may have to help uneducate patients when search information is inconsistent with their prescribed care plan. Specialty search applications are a well-traveled path taken by other innovators. They succeed by providing free value to users and a compelling value proposition to resource providers. Provalence, the missing file system for health-related resources. The four components of the Provalence solution. 1. Resource cards. 2. A resource directory. 3. Resource portals. And 4. The community network. Customers start with a piece of content, typically a web page, PDF, or other online document. Resource cards are the visual face of that resource. They are created using powerful self-service tools. Cards are stored in the resource directory where they are categorized for later presentation. Provalence has a strategic licensing agreement with Mayo Clinic to use their educational content. Provalence is working with the Mayo Foundation to disseminate that media. The resource directory is enriched with content from highly credible and trustworthy sources. Provalence provides patients with all of the information they need to understand their options. Portals are the access to the resource directory. They sort, organize, and filter resources and then deliver a personalized display of resource cards. Each time a person visits, more is learned about their interests. From this, the resource directory personalizes the card order for that individual. The personalization process looks at the history of similar users to arrange cards for each online visitor. Users can save resource cards to their personal board or boards to be retrieved at a later time. The elegance of resource cards is their portability. Patients can easily share them with others. Patients, caregivers, and providers benefit as more and more individuals get access to resource cards. Individuals can retrieve their resource cards and use them to connect to web content, maps, and calendars. Patients and resources are all organized within communities. Patients can plan their care journeys within their own community. It's how Provalence goes to market. It's how patients find their resources. And it's how Provalence will scale the business. Within a community, Provalence identifies professionals, connections, services, and programs. Provalence allows patients to quickly hone in on the community of interest to the online visitor. Provalence transforms standalone websites into a community network. Users can connect to content and resources that are most relevant to the health challenge they are facing. Resources can be found on multiple websites within the community network. Provalence aligns to user interest, not the artificial boundaries that currently prevent effective healthcare searches. The business model of Provalence starts with world-class content providers who deliver curated content that attract online visitors. Patients and families get a convenient and free access to health information. Healthcare providers pay an annual fee to boost their resource cards and give patients access to a curated content. Resource providers pay to promote themselves with resource cards that can acquire new customers. Provalence monetizes the value generated from connecting resource providers to customers and prospects. So who benefits? First, patients and caregivers receive trustworthy content personalized for their needs. They receive resource cards that can be saved and shared with friends and families, and understand and access resources available within their community. Providers and healthcare systems enhance in-network referral rates, provide patient engagement, satisfaction, and compliance, empower clinicians to better serve and educate their patients. Resource providers target qualified prospects who have a strong interest in their offering. They can expand reach as resource card owners have cards with their personal networks. And finally, enhance their state brand by associating with other curated content providers. In summary, Provalence makes it easy for people to find trustworthy health information. It builds upon content from credible, reputable, and trustworthy sources. Uses powerful resource cards that are portable, shareable, and can be saved via a personal board or boards. It aligns itself to communities that facilitate patient searches. And it uses a business model that monetizes connections between resource providers, patients, and caregivers. Provalence. Visit us at www.provalence.com.